part 4. Um, so I've been going down the syllabus and on here just like letting you know that you're really responsible for how you learn and how you use the campus resources and COD website. And just, I throw this in your head. You don't mean to be, disrespectful of your situation, but if you're coming into this particular class that's 3 weeks long with a really complicated work schedule, I'm assuming you're accepting this course after reading this and you're agreeing to work around and through what you have going on. Okay. So I often get emails saying, can I get more time? And the answer is 100% of the time, no. What can happen is you can use a one-time pass, which I'll go into a little bit more. Um, if you have a medical excuse with documentation, if you have a phone number or an email, I can contact a doctor or a police officer. Otherwise, that's it. You have a one-time pass, which I will skip down here a little bit more toward this part. One-time pass, and that will open. Right now, you have the 20 points. You already get. It's a gift. I've already given it to you. So you can reopen like 4 assignments, 2 quizzes, 2 homework. So it can be even 80 points or more. But that's it. You cannot open a whole week. You can't miss a whole week in this class. That's like missing 5 weeks, and you cannot pass really if you miss a whole week. The first week maybe, but I wouldn't chance it. The final and midterms are never going to be reopened for you unless you have paperwork that is verifiable. Okay. The attendance on here, it's 24/7 online. It's not a self-paced course again. And I can see how long you've been working on which assignments. So when you say something to me in the manner of, oh, I know I submitted that, I can absolutely see whether you did or you didn't. So make sure you know the due dates, set your notifications so that you get everything on time. If you email me at 10 p.m. or anytime after noon, I'm not going to answer you. Okay, I'm not 24 hours customer service. That's not how this runs. You have to make sure and give me some time to respond, which is a day or two, and that's not going to extend your work date just because you had a question, because you've had a week to look at it. So what I suggest, good study habits, go through everything and take a look at it. And if something seems confusing to you, email me as soon as possible. Okay, I will drop you if you're out for 5 days or you're missing 2 consecutive discussions or other forms of communication, or you're not emailing me back, that kind of thing. A lot of information here, but again, don't wait to the close date to make your first attempt. We end on January 23rd because the regular semester is going to start the following week. Make sure and read the book. No late work, and this is the grading breakdown. We're 1,000 points again, 900 points is an A, and so on. This is our schedule. This is formatted better here, okay? But if you don't really like reading this, or this is not the best format for you, you do have some other options. Again, it's here, and there's a calendar, and we'll get into that in just a second. And then you can go down to the bottom of Word syllabus in the Canvas page, and then down here, it'll give you due dates right there. Okay, so it'll break it down that way. The other way you can do it is right here, this calendar button. And right now we're still in December because I'm doing this ahead of time. If I go into January, give it a second, it takes a minute to load. Friday, you can see you have 2 things due. And then Wednesday, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things due. Friday, or the 11th, there's some extra credit. And yeah, then on the 16th, that's a big mega 400-point week. There's a lot of stuff there, including the midterm. If you scroll down, so this calendar, you can print this out too if you want, but make sure that you look over the calendar. Okay, that's going to be one of the better things for you to do. I'm going to go out here to my courses, and we looked at this. So you're pretty clear on this. Essay guidelines, how to write, plagiarism and patch writing. Here's a useful way to write. Elements of art, you're going to use these elements and principles a lot. What's a fig number? And all the extra credit listed that I have. You got to look through this whole thing. You have to complete all the items, complete one item here and all items there before this will open for you. Okay, so this is telling you there's a prerequisite right there. I showed you the week 1 breakdown. The introduction is going to take you to discussions, and that's me, and then you're going to reply and tell me something about yourself, okay? And the instructions are up here. One other thing you should know in discussions, which is nice, and that's over here, this menu option over here. If you're really confused about something, you can post it here. This also is going to restate some of the help numbers if no one else is online. But say, hey, did anybody notice in chapter 4 there was something confusing about question 3, or I don't understand the directions on chapter 3. And if I'm not online, somebody else, other fellow students that figured it out can post, okay? So I will respond here every other day or so, but other students may be online and give you a faster response than I do, okay? Grades, you're going to go into here. Now, this doesn't help you because as an instructor, this is how it's going to look for me and show me everybody. Let me go into grades. So for me, when I do it, I have to switch to student mode. And my student mode, just so you know, I can't see everything you're seeing. And that is partly why you have to go and call Canvas and so on, because I can't see everything you can see. This gives me somewhat of student view, but it's not complete. So say I have some grades, and I give myself some grades already. So I go in here, and I take a look, and it's going to tell me what my grades were. I got 20 points out of 20, and I just do this to make sure that everything's working in the beginning of the, before the term starts rather, and I just go in here and I grade everything, okay? And then if you scroll to the bottom, it's going to tell me I got 1,030 points out of 1,000. Now, it's not going to necessarily say this in the beginning because this is only for what you've completed. So after the first week, it'll say, 180 out of 200 because you'll only have completed 200 points. Please disregard a lot of this stuff because look how crazy high that number is and how I have a D there and I have an A plus there. Don't look at all that stuff because this may only be 10% of your grade and that might be most of your grade or whatever. That's not going to give you a good sense, but look at the points here and then average that out, okay? I'm going to leave this, and that's just about it. So you're going to do a homework and a chapter quiz pretty much for every chapter. Chapter 2 has the homework here, and there's extra credit for chapter 2, and then there's a quiz right there. For chapter 1, there's no homework. There's just the quiz, and that's going to take you over to Cengage MindTap once you pay for it. You have to pay for it before it tells you to go there, okay? And then you're going to find it. We're here in Cengage. It's giving me some issues, and then you're going to start the assignment, and then you're going to answer the questions. You have 3 chances to answer there. On the midterm and final, you only have 1, so you need to know what you're doing by the time you get on to the midterm and final. No time limit, but that's what that looks like. The other thing you will have are PowerPoints right here, and that will load, and you can also download it too if you prefer, but it'll take a little while to load. And there'll be some images and some text, and you'll go through and you'll look at all these things, okay? So that's the course. I hope you do really well. Email me with questions, but make sure that you're set up with your software and that you're ready to roll learning online. I'm the one teaching. But make sure you get the first 2 things done in the first day or so. The second day is really the drop day. You only have 1 day to make up your mind on this class. So make sure you get that done, and I hope you do really well. Okay.